Well, we just keep getting smashed by storms, and I drove in this morning, but driving home it's even worse. I can barely see the road. I just had to stop because I couldn't see anymore. So you kind of panic because, you know, you're rolling around. Even if you're doing 30, 40, you can't see. You don't want to drive into the ditch, because if I drive in the ditch right now, like right now, friends, I can't see, so I'm stopping. If I drive into the ditch right now, well, I'm gonna have to walk home. Problem is, I ain't gonna make it home because it's too cold, and then I'll have to get my wife to come and get me in this, and you guys get the idea. So you take her easy, and I've been driving home in this for 15 years, probably about almost 15 years, 14 years, and it's an acquired skill. And I just thought I'd jump back in because, well, we're here again, and I can't see anything. Not a thing. Let's see, where are we at here? Well, I see the rhubarbs there, and I think this is the end of the road. Let's see what we can see this side. I can't see a darn thing here. Yeah, people don't know about this when they come here in the winter. Everywhere has its challenges, and I just can't see. I'm doing 10 kilometers an hour, which is like 6-7 miles an hour, and I'll just drive like this until I get somewhere. It's like I said, I have no... Oh, I'm going into the ditch there, friends. I have no idea where I am. So, I think I'm on the road. But again, can't see. Oh, there we go. There's the road. Anyhow, guys, good times. Morning, guys. Sunday. We are just getting up, rolling, got a coffee going. I'm going to show you guys my chores on a Sunday, and it's storming, so let's get to it. First thing, before we have a coffee, let's get the truck fired up, because we got to haul water. Hopefully this goes smoothly. You guys can see what's going on here. It's been doing this all winter, blowing. Visibility's going to be horrible today, but we got to haul water because we're going to run out. This truck's been a great starter. So you put the key in here. Especially when you consider this truck is, you know, almost 20 years old, 19 years old. It's been a good runner. There you go. This thing's pretty buried. This is all part of my program, is I need a big heavy truck to pull this thing through the snow. Okay guys, now I'm in my other truck. See if I can get through the snow drifts, because now I gotta fire up my skid steer, or at least plug it in. I think I'll be okay. Back in the big truck that through there with the, okay, we're gonna plug this thing in. Okay, now that that's done, back up here. Let's go to the shop. I'm gonna light a fire in the shop. This is what I do, friends, on the weekends. Oh, that's a big drift there. We're not gonna drive into that. Pull up to the shop, and now I'll light a fire. That'll do. This nice little fire going. I'll I'll leave the damper wide open and just get this thing roaring, and then I'll shut her down a bit and go inside, have a coffee, and then we can leave the whole water. Next step, now that the truck's warm, is dig out the tank, put the valve on. I keep the valve in the back seat of my truck so it stays thawed. Okay, let's pull this thing out of here. Okay, put her in 4-wheel drive. Let's rock and roll. Back in the old days when I used to do this, oh yeah, friends, this is gonna be, I might not be able to get my trailer in here full. I think I'm gonna fire up my skid steer for just in case. I'm gonna leave this thing parked here, and I'm gonna go run to the shop and see if I can get that thing going. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to pull this thing out of here. I don't think I'm going to be able to back this trailer into here with a full tank of water. Well, a quick trip to the corner to haul water turned into an hour of snow clearing, but that's done. I gotta say, remember I put these on in the summer, solid airless tires. These things are great. They have tons of grip. I'd say they have more grip than my pneumatic tires that I used to roll with on here. My main thing that I notice, positives are weight. This thing is way more sure-footed now when I have the boom up. Hey friends, remember I was saying I've been having problems with my charging system on this? Look, that'll do it. I'm gonna have to bring this thing into the shop and remedy that. This thing needs a new end. I noticed it today. This thing, I went to start it and it went click and nothing. And that's weird. This thing has juice in it. And so anyways, long story short, I went under the hood here and I wiggled this and I could hear the glow plug relay clicking. So just always something. Anyhow, the old gale started again. And that heater we put on there last summer or last winter, wow, what a difference. Yeah, we made a little bit of a pile here today. A younger me would have tried to 4-wheel drive through that snow and I probably would have got stuck, which means you're firing up the skid steer anyways. So an older me says, no, we'll clear snow first. We have to do it either way. And I had smaller trucks when I was younger. You know, when you're young, you're generally pretty broke, so you're not running any fancy rigs. Okay, back to this thing. Am I glad I replaced all those lights and new tires and a hub and bearings and all that other stuff? I've had my slip tank there this winter. Just it's a good spot for it. Doesn't leak or anything, so I'm not too worried about that. Only thing that's really broken on this truck this winter is that vent hose for the rear diff. Otherwise, this thing's been stellar. It's a beast. It'll pull through snow that none of my other trucks I've ever owned would. So anyhow, let's go on the long drive to haul water. Here, off and rolling, just ripping the back roads. Just want to show you guys my day-to-day. We just live like this out here. Ooh, that's a good drift. Better swerve. We just live like this out here. I don't even think about it. We moved here 15 years ago. Our first 2 or 3 winters was like this. Lots of wind, lots of cold, and lots of snow. It can be a little stressful on a guy, I'm not gonna lie, but you get through it one problem at a time, and good machinery gets me through all this. Whether it be a good trailer, a good truck, a good skid steer, the main thing is your equipment needs to start. So if you have starting issues or runnability issues, you better figure those out in spring. You know, as soon as the weather breaks, you know, or in summer, you try not to do it in winter because everything just fights you. If you got a truck that won't start in winter, you could be in for a ride. One way, if you got something frozen, grab an insulated tarp and tarp the vehicle, and then I have a 250,000 BTU propane tube heater. Just throw that in there and let her buck, and you warm up a whole vehicle that way if you have to. So there's always ways. I always have a torch in the back seat of my truck. That way if something freezes, I can warm it up. Or if I get stranded, I can make a fire if I absolutely had to. But we'll get there. These are the things I do before I work on saws, say on a Sunday. Just my day-to-day. Well, the roads aren't too drifted. That's good. These tires I put on this truck, I've been very happy with them. They got good grip in the snow, good grip on the ice. In bumper deep snow, this thing will pull itself through. Even with a trailer on it, when we drove out here this morning, this thing, I mean, it did it. It was hopping, but glad I replaced driveline components like U-joints and drive shafts. Okay, let's go hook up and get us some water. I don't know if I caught that on camera, but did you see my torch little flame job in my face? Oops. Now We drive home as quickly as possible because if I don't, I will freeze the valve. My valves are all metal on my tank for a reason, because I can apply a lot of heat to them to thaw them out and not melt them. So this is a little pro tip. If you find yourself in the north hauling water like a fool in it's minus 11 with the wind chill. I think it's about minus 30, minus 32 Celsius. So it's still cold, but wind chill doesn't affect things like it affects us. Oh, we got a big snow pile here. See if I can get through here. I'm putting her in four-wheel peel. Oh, we're hopping, friends. We're hopping. Okay. I thought I was gonna get stuck there. Should have put her in four-wheel drive first. I'm towing, so this trailer weighs 3,000, and that's what it says on the rating plate. It's like 2,995 pounds, so 3,000 pounds. And then that tank full of water is just under 5,000, so we'll call her 8. And then the slip tank's full. That slip tank full is about 800 pounds, so we're right around 9,000 pounds right now, which is nothing for this truck. This truck is rated to tow, I think it's rated around 16,000 pounds is what it says in the brochures. So 9,000 is perfect for this truck. It tows it quite easily. Whoa, I'm hitting 12-inch snow drifts with this thing. That's why I went from the wide. This thing had like, what did it have on it? 325, 65 18s on it, which are like a 14-inch wide 35. And I put 295 70 18s, which are 11.5-inch 35 on here. I prefer the 11.5-inch tires. They track better down the road. They're better all around. I feel like this truck's more planted. It wandered more with the wide tires on it. And also, in winter, if you're cutting through snow, you don't want to float your tires. You want to dig through and grab the hard bottom underneath the snow. If you float, what'll happen is, I used to have this problem with my old tractor. I had flotation tires on there, they call them, or like a turf tire. I would drive over the snow and then I would sink. And the minute you sink, you bury your diffs. So I would rather cut a path. So that's why I put those tires on. That's why I redid all the drive shafts on this truck, because I knew I'm going to hammer the living bejesus out of them in snow. When you're in four-wheel drive, pulling a 9,000 pound truck with 9,000 pounds behind it, and you're hopping, that's really hard on your drive line. So anyhow, see you guys at home. Hopefully that hole I dug isn't full of snow. We'll drain this water and then we'll go and get another load. This is what I do every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday every week, depending on weather. It is Sunday right now. The weather yesterday was absolutely horrendous, so I made a decision to wait till today. So this is what I do before I work on saws. I want to say one more thing before we get home. This truck, compared to, I've hauled water with half tons, SUVs, you know, all kinds of things, Chevy Silverados, Avalanches, my F-250, my 6.5 turbo diesel. I will say this truck versus all of them, once you get moving, this thing will just pull. This thing pulls harder and smoother through snow drifts than any other truck I've ever had. And I think the reason is it's so heavy. Also, it has 35s and a little bit of a lift on it, but it's so heavy that it just trumps right through the snow. So when I originally built this truck, I was thinking of all of this stuff, you know, my wants and needs. It also hauls my kid, my wife, and my dog beautifully. So, okay, we're almost at the homestead. Let's get that water flowing. Hopefully my hose isn't frozen. Notice I drained the hose really well. If you let water sit, it'll freeze, and then you're done. Oh, there's a coyote running across the field. I wouldn't want to be that guy today in this wind. Where's my hole? Okay, it's still there. Good. My yard's in a little bit of a mess. They just put a gas line to our property, so the boys were in here 2 weeks ago. So yeah, we moved a bunch of stuff, and it is what it is. Okay, let's hook this up to here. Yeah. That was easy. I'm running a new hose, and this hose is not trained yet, so it's a little bit of a pain. It likes to pull out of the hole because it's kind of zigzaggy. There you go. This tank is 8 feet below the ground, so it won't freeze. I get asked that quite often. Okay, now turn this on. Oh, we're really bending that fitting. Hopefully this thing flows on one go. Oh, good. I'm glad I hauled today instead of yesterday. Yesterday was too cold. When the air temp is actually minus 30, not minus 30 with the wind chill, stuff gets out of hand a lot quicker. Okay, we'll make sure that this is stuffed in there, and we'll go sit in the truck. There we go. Okay, well, now we're in the shop 3.5 hours later. It is what it is, though. This is what it takes to live in a rural property on the Canadian prairies. The water's hauled, the snow is pushed. It started snowing again, but I pushed all the snow back off the driveway so that it has about 10-12 feet to blow back in again. So should be good for the rest of the winter. Anyhow, friends, thanks for watching. Take her easy. Later.